say the body they found in a large container filled with concrete in a storage unit is in fact Fulton man Carl DeBrody. Good evening, I'm Christina Salonikis.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. We also found out today the group home DeBrody stayed at had been investigated for 2 reports of neglect and abuse over the years. KOMU 8's Madeline Odell's live outside the Fulton Police Department to tell us what she found.
Carl DeBrody was reported missing April 17th, but after authorities found his body Monday, Fulton's police chief said that it might have been there for months. Now, yesterday, I requested any documents regarding complaints against the home that was responsible for DeBrody's care at the time of his disappearance. Today, I got those documents, and here's a look at what they said.
Reports from the Department of Mental Health to its care.
Earlier this week, the department said it had served 8 to 10 warrants in relation to this case, but officers wouldn't say whether or not they had a suspect. Now, we're going to continue to keep you updated as we get more information on this case. Reporting live in Fulton, Madeline Odell, KOMU 8 News.
Fatal accidents involving drug driving having surpassed those involving drunk driving, according to a new study. KOMU 8's Matt Vereen is here, but Matt, this isn't the case yet here in Missouri.
No, it's not. It's going up, but drinking and driving numbers are still higher here. In 2007, Missouri had 24 reported fatal accidents involving drugs. By last year, that number was up to 70 fatal accidents. Despite that drastic change, though, Missouri's numbers don't reflect those shown by the Governor's Highway Safety Association in the recent study. Nationally, the GHSA study found 43% of motorists who died in 2015 were under the influence of drugs, while only 37% tested positive for alcohol. Missouri State Highway Patrol told me drivers need to know that driving while drugged is just as dangerous as driving while drunk.
Driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol is a choice, and it's 100% preventable. And even though the substances may be different, the results are the same, and it ends up tragically in injuries and death every year here in Missouri.
So far in 2017, Missouri has had 16 drug driving fatalities and 24 drunk driving fatalities. In the studio, Matt Vereen, KOMU 8 News.
You may see more police officers patrolling the streets in Jefferson City over the next few weekends. That's because it's prom season and JCPD is sending more officers out to watch for underage and under the influence drivers. The Youth Alcohol Enforcement Campaign is a statewide program with the goal of making sure Missouri teens get home safe and sober. JCPD says students are not the only ones who contribute to underage drinking during prom season, but also parents who host after-prom parties in their homes.
A lot of times parents will think that they're better off if they have them there drinking and they can watch them, but they can be held criminally and civilly liable for that.
Teens found driving under the influence can get their license suspended and be charged with possession of alcohol. Providing alcohol to a minor is illegal under Missouri and federal law.
Columbia firefighters are still trying to figure out what caused the fire in the eastern part of the city today. It broke out around 4 this afternoon on Godea Circle. No one was hurt. Officials say a grandmother got her 6 grandchildren out of the house safely.
Potential flooding and strong storms are in the forecast, so the Department of Public Safety is working with local first responders to coordinate response throughout the weekend. The department especially wants people to watch out for flash flood warnings.
Flash floods occur quick, and many people die in weather-related events are from flash floods and flooding. Everybody says, turn around, don't drown. We absolutely believe that. Don't drive through the water.
Roads recommends when a flash flood warning is issued to get to high ground immediately. He also says if your vehicle becomes stuck in rising water, get out quickly. That rising water may engulf your vehicle. Now let's send it over to Michael for a look at how those storms are going to develop over the weekend.
Thank you, Brittany, and good evening, everyone. Just a little bit.
For months, Columbia residents have had issues with the utility bill process. This month, there's a new issue. People receiving notices their utilities will be shut off soon when they say they've already paid the bill. KOMU 8's Desiree Evans tells us about the frustrations of one resident.
Friends on Facebook were saying that, did you get any delinquent notice that they're just going to disconnect?
And 2 days later, she did. So she called the city, and she says customer service said,
well, we haven't sent out any disconnect notices for many, many, many months.
Hatton says this was a frustrating process for her.
Well, so you're sending them out just for fun, or what? Because my bill's paid.
About 2 weeks ago, I believe, we started sending out, we restarted our disconnect process.
Windsor says there are 2 reasons people could be receiving these notices, even if they've paid their bills.
Our customer paid online late at night, and on the website it says that it does not guarantee that the process will occur that day. It's possible that a customer was put on a new budget billing amount and didn't look at their bill, and maybe it was higher.
Hatton says she understands mistakes, but she just wants all the confusion to end.
Well, I would like them to certainly get the system straightened out, make amends to their customers.
Desiree Evans, KMUA News, Columbia.
Windsor says if you got a notice and you don't think you should have, feel free to call the city and ask to be transferred to speak with him.
After the break, music has become a big part of one man's life, and he's now sharing it with the world.
And later in the newscast, North Korea missile test today, how President Trump responded. MU's Thompson Center is known around the world for its commitment to autism research. April is Autism Awareness Month, something the center takes very seriously. KOMU8's Daytona Everett tells the story of a young man who drove across the state to share his favorite hobby with kids with autism. That was Daytona Everett reporting. Walton dreams of moving to Nashville to become a session player for Warner Music.
Later in the newscast, North Korea continues to provoke the United States and its allies. What the president has to say.
Plus, a group of Mid-Missourians are traveling to Washington, D.C., but they're not just tourists. Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
Some Mid-Missourians are demanding action from Congress, and they're hitting the road to get it.
And a schedule change makes it a doubleheader for Mizzou baseball. See how they weathered it out later in sports.
But first, here's a look at your lottery numbers. Good luck.
According to U.S. officials, North Korea conducted another test of a short-range missile and appears to have been unsuccessful. That launch was closely monitored by the White House. We get the details from NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
Tonight, Kim Jong-un's piece rational.
Andrea Mitchell reporting. Trump tweeted, quote, North Korea disrespected the wishes of China with the launch.
The People's Climate Movement March takes place tomorrow in Washington, D.C., and environmental activists from Mid-Missouri are making sure they're a part of it. 25 people boarded a bus this afternoon to demand action from Congress on climate change. Despite the 20-hour drive ahead of them, they're excited to make the trip.
There's something that happens with inspiration when you see millions of people around the world getting together and with one voice, speaking with one voice. Diversity within the group, and yet one message, really, in the end, that we care about this planet.
A sister march will be held at the Courthouse Square in Columbia tomorrow at 1 p.m.
The Blues look to draw even against Nashville. Highlights next in sports.
A kid in Connecticut received his chief wish today. 9-year-old Aiden Bigos was escorted from home by police to the town hall. He was then sworn in to be police chief for the day by the police commission, surrounded by his fellow commanding officers and even the K-9 officers. Aiden is battling brain cancer and says he's always dreamed of being a police officer.
Now here's a look at what we're finding for KMU8 News today. A carnival in Columbia tomorrow is for more than just to have fun.
Plus, a star in the equestrian world visits Mid-Missouri to share some knowledge. KMU8 News today starts at 6 a.m. Michael?
Taking a look at the forecast for tomorrow and really for this whole weekend. A flash flood watch is in effect for pretty much the entire viewing area, and that runs all the way through Sunday night. Would expect that probably to go into Monday morning as well. Looking at the Saturday planer, again, temperatures don't budge much tomorrow, but that rain will continue throughout the day. Again, heavy rainfall possible by midday, but there's a chance maybe for a break in the afternoon. And then as we head into Sunday, again, those chances for rain ramp back up. Temperatures pretty cool on Monday. Very windy day for us on Monday as well as those showers wrap up. But temperatures are back into the 60s for next week, and we should hopefully see some dry time as well for next week.
All right. Stay inside if you can. That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.